Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dadcast. I am JP. He is Nick. How are you, Nick?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Doing okay?
Our age is definitely showing today.
Yeah, right. Well, you with all your medical problems and me with, I think we have, WebMD'd it up to the point where I think I may be in the beginning stages of kidney stones today. And I've had them in the past, so I'm thinking that's what's happening. And life sucks right about now when it comes to lower back. But we are going to push through. Today on the show, man, we are stoked. We have singer, songwriter, country musician. He was in the very first season of The Voice. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Jared Blake. How are you, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing? Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I got to ask, there's a reflection in the sunglasses. What part of the world is that reflection happening in?
Oh, that is Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee?
Outskirts of Nashville, yeah.
Okay, all right. I was there a couple months ago in July. My first time ever in what I would call legitimate south of the country, right? I mean, that is considered south, right?
Yeah, if you go any more south, you really just run into Cajuns in Florida, and Florida's not the South.
Right. No, I've been to Florida plenty of times. But man, that humidity there in the middle of July, I think former guest compared it to Barry Corbin, amazing actor on Yellowstone, said it's like sitting in a sponge. And boy, he wasn't kidding, man. But so welcome to Dadcast, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Very first question we like to ask, it is a rite of passage here on the show. Jared Blake, are you a dad?
I am a dad. I'm a dad of 6. So
dad of 6. Well, you're literally in running in competition with that guy over there, Nick. He has 87 kids.
Yeah.
I like to make fun of him when I say that. He actually it's 5 going on 6, or is it 6 going on 7?
6 going on 7.
Whoo.
And that's a rarity. You don't meet many like that. Well, I think Walker Hayes, he's somewhere around that same amount.
Yeah.
You guys have been into with that, but it's rare.
So what are their age ranges? The boys, girls, talk to us.
Yeah, I got a boy on each end, and they range from 16 to 22.
All right. Wow. So, and 4 girls then?
Yeah, 4 girls in the middle. So basically, I had 3 girls and 1 boy when I met my wife, and she had 1 boy and 1 girl.
Oh.
So we've got 2 22-year-olds, 2 20-year-olds. No, we have 2 22-year-olds, 1 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 16-year-old.
My goodness, running the gamut. Okay, so obviously the most important question then we're going to ask up until this point of the show is those girls, when they were teenagers, say 14 to 18, how did you get through? Help us out, because we're in the midst.
Dude, it hasn't got any better, honestly. I mean, you start to realize, I think once they turn, 20, 21, you realize you don't have any control over what's happening.
Right.
Anymore. But I'm not going to lie to you. I used a lot of fear tactics on the boys. I just didn't back down. I shook hands very, very hard. I left weapons out on the table. I didn't hide what I was capable of. But even with the fear of it, it still doesn't stop the girl.
Right.
So like you can have a little bit of diction over the boy through a fear sense, but I'll tell you, like my wife's daughter, she called my bluff harder than anybody else did. I put my foot down at some point about this one kid, and I was like, you're not going to date him anymore. I don't like the element that he is. I don't like the element that he's bringing around my family. And I said no more. And she was 19 at the time and in college. And that kid literally just registered at another college and moved out overnight. And I was like, I'll be damned. I guess you will.
Right.
I was speechless. I just didn't think she had it in her to do it. But she was like, no. I remember saying like those words that your parents said to you, not in my house.
Right.
And, she was like, all right. And she moved out. Now she's moved back. But I think I still probably won in the end. But
at the time, yeah, man. So, and at 19, they can do that. What about for like, were they around 15, 17 years old in that range? When they started getting that whole "I'm independent and I know more than you" type scenario, because that's really what I'm getting at. The gist of it is
absolutely okay.
My daughter, 17, almost 18. Nick, same. There you are. We're in the same boat where it seems like it's a fight every day over trivial shit. Stuff that is not even important in the long run.
Right. So my daughter, she's 18. She has her first boyfriend, right? She calls me bawling a couple nights ago. She's like, Jacob broke up with me. And then she proceeds to tell me what happens. And she overshares, like way overshares.
Oh, boy.
Like, so things got a little
just
hot.
Proving that you're a good dad, because
I guess things got a little hot and heavy. And I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes, Emma. Stop right there. And I'm like, so what the hell happened? She's like, oh, I said no. And he got mad and broke up with me the next day. I'm like, that little fucker needs his ass kicked.
Right.
And,
yeah. Wait, I thought this was the good Mormon kid.
This is a good Mormon. Dude, there's nothing against the Mormon religion, but those boys are like pimped up and nothing good's going to come of.
Jared, we were not even 3 weeks ago having a podcast and talking about this boy in Emma's life. And Nick was joking around, putting a scare tactic in him. And he's like, no, it's all good. He's a good kid. He's Mormon. He's respectful. And here we are 3 weeks later. And
I was shocked when she called me. I'm like, well, how old is he? She's like, well, he's 17. I'm like, damn, I can't kick his ass. But I do know some kids that'll do it for $3. So.
That's the thing though. You also remember who you were.
Right.
You're like, just, what they're all thinking. And your kid, oh no, he's not like that. Yes, he is. Mm-hmm. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
That probably hit him around 14, 15 where I didn't know anything. It hasn't changed yet, even at 21, 22. What's weird about it though, is like I had a daughter the other day. She's posting something on TikTok and it was like, I don't know if you saw that meme going around that was like, or the little voiceover thing that was like, oh, you don't know how to do that? Oh, my daddy does. My daddy knows how to do that. You don't know how to do that either? Oh, my daddy does. And she posted this thing with her talking about all the things, like showing different things around the house that was like, that I always knew how to do. And it's a diss on like the boys these days, essentially, of like, they don't know how to take care of me the way daddy does. And she posts stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, so you get it. And then like the next conversation, she's like, I just don't think you understand because blah, 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 blah. And you're like, you just posted to the world that your daddy knows everything. Right. And now in a conversation, I'm always wrong still. Like, I don't get it. Like, they definitely think that I have all the answers unless I disagree with them.
Exactly. There you go. That nail on head. It's just, it's tough. But I from a lot of the guests that we've spoken with in the past on that exact topic, they're supposed to start coming out of that about 2021. So you should be real close to that. Oh, they're going to come back and love their daddy type scenario here soon.
Well, I'll tell you, the one that I disagree with the most, that conversation is starting to ease up. So it hasn't been very tense here lately. So maybe you're right.
I hope so, man. We're pulling for you because we're in the thick of it. It is.
I know. We got like 3-4 more years of this shit.
God, it's just,
dude. People have always talked about how hard boys were. Man, my boys were so easy in comparison because I understood that first of all.
Right.
I understood what was going on in their brain. What was happening. I think you understand. You understand more about when you got to force them to man up a little bit more. But with girls, you're just like, I don't know. Am I going to break her? I don't understand what's happening. Like, are you going to be in therapy for the rest of your life now? Like,
my new baby's a baby girl.
Words that I use.
Yeah, I'm screwed for the next 18 years now. 21 years.
Yeah, Nick's got a baby girl on the way. Doing what? 4 months now, Nick?
Yeah.
Wow.
I get to do this shit all over again. I'm like,
so I gotta ask, was this on purpose, Nick?
Yes. Yeah. So my last 2 babies, yes, were 100% on purpose.
Like more than on purpose. If you open up a book of on purpose and look up the definition, you're going to have Nick and his wife. They had to go through IVF, so they really had to work at making this thing happen.
Yeah. So I was married before, and obviously that didn't work out. I was done. My youngest at the time but he's 16 now. But at the time, like he was like 13, 14 when I got together with my wife, and she didn't have any kids. And she's like, I really want my own kids. And I'm like, man, I'm fixed. Like that ship sailed. Sorry about your luck. And so I got unfixed.
So sorry about your luck. We did the whole IVF thing. We had our son 2 years ago, and then we tried again a year later, had a miscarriage, and then this last one took. So this is it though. I'm like, babe, I'm 43. My old body can't handle chasing little guys around anymore.
Dude, I got fixed after the fourth one. And when I met my wife, even with 6 kids, then meeting the person that you feel like you actually are going to spend the rest of your life with, that was we joked about it with everyone else, but it was a serious conversation with us for a couple of years of like, do I want to get this reversed? How do we want to go about this? How much does this cost? Are we really ready for this? And, so I get that side of it. It's especially when you feel like that this is your person, even especially with her not having any, because like I said, even with us just not having one together, it was still a big conversation.
Yeah.
For a long time.
I can tell you, I mean, it's definitely like probably the coolest thing I did. It's like, it's really cool having a baby, being prepared for it, planning it, and knowing that you actually be a dad and not being like, shit, I got to sue Trojan because this shit's not working.
Dude, so this is something we don't talk about a whole lot, but all 4 of mine were accidents.
Mm-hmm.
First one was on the pill. Second one was on condoms, so that's likely my fault. The third one was on the patch, and the fourth one was after a vasectomy.
Wow. The fifth one, if it ever was, would be like, we weren't even in the same room together.
Exactly. Everybody that sees my youngest boy, they're like, man, he looks just like him. Like, he's better because I've been paying on him for 16 years. He better look like him.
Let's travel back. That's a good little segue. So your oldest of your blood, and I hate to even term it like that, but, your first child is how old?
She's 22. And my wife's oldest is 22.
Okay, so 23 years ago, give or take, a fateful day, you were notified in some form or fashion that you were, in fact, going to become a dad. Can you recall that day and the emotions?
Yeah. I didn't take it well. I mean, I was, like 19, and it was, it's not what I was looking for in life. I just moved to Nashville and was pursuing music, and that was not a thought. And I remember I was married at the time, but I remember her calling me and telling me, and I'm broke as shit. I'm 19. I live in Nashville and pursuing music. I got nothing.
Right.
She called me, and she was really bad about calling me during writing sessions and going, we need to talk when you get home. And I'd be like, don't do that. I'm like trying to write a song here, and I'm really concerned about what I'm going to get yelled at about when I get home, And she pulled that crap that day, and I was like, what is it? Just tell me now. Don't do this crap to me. Tell me whatever it is that I did wrong. She's like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. We just need to talk when you get home. And I was like, no, just tell me whatever it is. And she wouldn't. And I said, and the timing was impeccable. I said, just tell me what it is. Not like you're pregnant or anything.
And then awkward silence, right?
Silence. Right. I was like, oh, crap. I was like, are you pregnant? And she was like, yeah. And now you have to give me a little credit because I was 19. I'm immature. I'm stupid. And I just remember going, can I call you back in a minute?
We got to process, man. It's
sure. Yeah. And so I'm sitting with my boy there, and I hang up, and all I could think about was my dad wore the same shoes and the same pants, the same look of a human being my entire life. And I was just like, I can't be that. I don't want to be this. Because I couldn't process it. And I'm kind of thankful that I was with my best friend at the time, because he just kind of stopped me. He's like, hey, dude, he's like, you're not your dad, first of all. It was like, you don't have to stop living your dream. You don't have to stop chasing dreams. You don't have to turn into this just one person and stay in your lane. You can be different than that. You are different than that. You're going to be one of the coolest dads ever.
Right.
That changed the way that I thought about it. And I still probably was very questionable about it for the first like month or so. Then it started seeping in, that this is actually happening. And I remember, everybody starts telling you all these horror stories, which I don't know why they tell you. Like, they prepare you for fatherhood and motherhood, like in the most negative, horrible way. Oh, just wait, you're not going to ever sleep again. And this and this and that. Just all these negative things, And my wife was super mean. And I felt like that everyone gave her a reason to be mean, like, oh, you're pregnant. It's okay. I'm like, is it? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
And, but I'll tell you this, though, when that baby came out, that was a completely different thing. That was because the mother is feeling this motherhood for 9 months. I'm not feeling anything. All I'm feeling is stress. And how am I going to take care of this kid? Yep. Am I good enough to take care of this kid? Do I make enough money to take care of this kid? And the father gets very little sympathy through the whole pregnancy process.
Yeah.
You're not pregnant, but it's pretty brutal on us. And, dude, I just remember holding that kid and there was like no doubt in my mind of like, oh yeah, I got you. No matter what, I got you, and, I mean, that kid became my best friend for probably, the first 8, 9, 10 years of her life before she started getting, her own real friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he went everywhere with me. I took her to gigs with me. I took her on the road with me. Took her everywhere, but.
That's where I'm at. I'm at the very tail end of that story. My little girl, my youngest, is 9 years old. And I'm going to pause it because Big Vinny has arrived to the podcast.
Just since this is the Dadcast, this is what I've been doing.
Hey, perfect timing. Well, since we're in the middle here, let me introduce y'all. By the way, everyone watching and listening worldwide, this was planned to be a dual episode with Jared Blake and Mr. Big Vinny, who has joined us. We weren't sure he was gonna, but here he is. Vinny, welcome to Dadcast, man.
I'm excited. I brought my dad bod. I mean, it's all here. Got the guns up, the belly up, all that good stuff.
Big Vinny, you are, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, known for being on The Biggest Loser, correct?
I'm known to be a big loser. Yes, that's
right.
What they say.
And we love having big losers right here on Dadcast. Welcome to the show. Just to reiterate here, real quick, Dadcast, a couple of dads talking about dad life, the beginnings, the middles, the ends, and everything in between in our path and our journey as fathers. Welcome to the show. You've already answered the question, but I'm going to ask you the question that I already asked Jared. It's a rite of passage. Are you a dad?
I am a father of 2. I haven't quite got to the level that Jared's at yet. He's at the level 6. I'm at the level 2 right now.
Right. So. I'm level 3, and Nick is about to level up to 7.
Yeah. Dang. Nick, bro.
It's crazy.
Awesome.
Hey, I mean, I'd probably have 7 if I'd have started a little younger, but I waited till I was in my late 30s to start with my first kid. So
yeah, same here, man.
He meant to say having sex.
Yeah, you finally found a girl to sleep with you, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it took me a while, but finally somebody wanted to wrap around all this man meat here. So.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, man. So hopping back to finish my topic right before you came on, Jared, my little girl is 9. She's going to be 10 next year. And I'm starting to see little sprinkles of her older sister, who we've discussed earlier on the show, that independence, that little bit of an attitude that is happening, that those little shades of I'm about to get sassy and throw attitude on you. And it scares the life out of me because that is my little girl and my best friend, and I don't want to lose it, but you know what I mean? It's going to happen. You never truly lose it, but that little best friend, that little girl that's wrapped around your finger, it's fading, man, and it scares me. You there? Uh-oh.
I'm here. Yeah,
All right,
I just lost you for a minute. I'm trying to get it back. I had your video, Noah. Yeah, dude, it is scary. And Vinny talks to me about that kind of subject quite a bit about, just what that's like as that started to change. And I don't know that I can say, honestly, for you or him, because how many kids do you have?
Me personally?
Yeah.
3. I got the 2 daughters and a 1 boy.
3. So I think that I'm at a little unfair advantage in that of like, after going through 6 back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
There wasn't that time when the first one started leaving you still had 5, and then you still had 4, and then you still had 3. So it's I think I've been getting used to it for a long time. So this last one, my son Cash, that's been the only one that's really hurt, and we haven't it's still not over. It didn't happen at 13. It happened recently because it was the moment that he got a car and a job. All of a sudden he was gone. Before, he was at my beck and call, at my disposal anytime.
Right.
He was always game for going places and doing things. And, he had no transportation. And so, like, I was involved in anything he wanted to do, and now it's like, dude, Vinny and I just got off the road. We were gone for a week, and it's been 3 weeks since I've seen my kid because he lives with his mom. And, like, he sends me messages every week. Hey, sorry I haven't made it over. But, like, it's a weird spot because this is a kid that, I used to see every single day, unless I was on the road. And as soon as I got home from the road, immediately it was always, hey, come pick me up as soon as you get back, And so all of a sudden, all the nights of him sleep in my house, that's all changed because he can just kind of come and go when he pleases, and it's been weird. Like I said, I haven't gotten very emotional about it. But I think it's probably just because I've kind of had, 5 training wheels before that.
Right. Yeah. What about you, Vinny? I'm sorry, Nick, go ahead.
I was going to say anything.
Oh, how old are your kids? Boys, girls? What do we got?
I have a 2-year-old little baby girl.
Okay.
And she's already sassy.
Oh, yeah.
So, she's you saw her in the camera a while ago.
Uh-huh.
And then my little boy just turned 5 at the beginning of September. So we are, 2 and 5. We're right in the thick of, one of them has to have you and the other one wants to have you all the time. So
yep.
It's constant, it's constant work, but it's the work I love. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's parts of the day I'm like, all right, I just need 5 seconds. Can you let me use the bathroom on my own? Can I please finish this dump? Can I say that on here? Is that okay on this podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Shit, fuck, piss.
I figured if it's a Dadcast, I could say I was taking a dump, but I'll be sitting there and my son will come walking in. Hey, Dad, is there a black Superman and a white Superman? And could I get the black Superman outfit and can I get the blue one and then the red one too? And also, is Wonder Woman going to marry Batman or Superman? I'm like, bro, these are great questions and I need to talk to you about them seriously. But can we wait till after I get out of the bathroom? So, but no, they're awesome. I mean, my kids they're my best friends. Them and Jared, and my wife's my real best friend. But she's in the other room taking care of the kids now. So. But yeah, no, they're my whole world, man. I think I'm glad that I waited till I was a little older to have kids because I think I was a pretty selfish 20-year-old. I was chasing the music dream, and after it, I think I would have. I think it's like a reality check when you do have kids. You're like, wait a second, I got these little things I'm responsible for, and it's not like. I love it when people say to me, "Oh, I got a dog. That's like having a kid." I'm like, "Oh, is it?"
I know,
like, I didn't realize
right?
you could leave your. I didn't realize you could leave your kid in a crate while you go out to the shopping for 8 hours today or go to work for 8 hours today.
You're not supposed to do that.
Listen, buddy, they don't like
you can.
Yeah.
And as long as you leave a hamster drip in the crate, they're fine for a few hours, you guys. I'm just saying.
I leave Liam with the little Frenchie in the crate together. Yeah. They're happy. They're good. They got water.
I potty trained mine the same way, so.
Rub their nose in
it.
No, bad.
Don't you do that anymore.
I got my.
I'm doing that now. We just got the little potty out for my baby girl. We just started teaching her, but because she's, most of the time, she sees me or my son go to the bathroom. She's now walking up to the potty and trying to unzip her pants, and I'm like, "No, girl." I was like, "Hey, wife, you're gonna have to take this one on. So you're gonna have to teach her how to pee." So.
We're potty training a puppy, and my 2-year-old is also potty training, so he thinks it's cool to pee outside with the dog now.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, it's better. We're saving money on diapers and not a lot of cleanup on the bathroom floor anymore. So
listen, my wife still catches me pottying outside with the dog. So
I did it last night.
And he lives in a cul-de-sac neighborhood with neighbors on both sides.
Ditto.
In the back.
Ditto.
If my dog wakes me up at 3:00 in the morning to go pee, you can bet I'm going to pee off the back porch too.
Yeah, same. Hey, the good news is I have a big privacy fence in my backyard. Me and Jared live in the same neighborhood. I have a big privacy fence in my backyard now because I hired this really good-looking contractor named Jared Blake to come in and build me a fence. So
yeah, I do not have a fence, so people just see me if they're looking.
And on that note, gentlemen, Vinny, stick around. Trust me on this. You weren't here for the pre-show rules and whatnot. That is it for part 1 with Jared Blake and Big Vinny on Dadcast. Please, if you're listening worldwide or watching on the YouTube, make sure you like it up, subscribe, leave a comment, do all that good stuff. And of course, check out Jared Blake and Vinny and all their amazing dadness. We will be back next week from today with part 2. So we'll see you all then. Hey, everybody, welcome back. We are in the midst of an episode of Dadcast with Jared Blake and Big Vinny. This is part number 2. How you guys doing, man? Boy, it's been a long time since we've seen you.
Golly, man. I can't believe I actually ended up wearing the exact same outfit.
I know. I feel like we need to do a wardrobe change.
And I'm
hang on. It's
there.
like flipping a switch.
There it is. So I'd like to touch on your two's relationship. How do you know each other? What's the deal with the Big Vinny Jake Blake connection? Jared Blake connection. Jake.
Farmers
Jake.
only.
You don't have to be lonely with farmersonly.com.
Oh, so that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 2022, bro. Don't judge. Dads come in all shapes and sizes and everything else. No, we
dads
both kind of came
have
here
to be dads anymore.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Don't get me started.
We're moms now.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. You can't put a name to it. We're a they, them, or some shit. I
brought Jared into my life because he's really good at fixing stuff. So, he's like, how they have that guy out in Utah has the sister wives. My wife gets brother husbands, so she knows when something needs to be fixed. She calls Jared. And pretty much when everything else, she just calls Jared. In fact, she never calls me. We moved to Nashville kind of chasing the music dream. He's from Arkansas. I'm born and raised just south of Nashville, not too far. But we came to Nashville chasing that dream. And I think that people that grind and that hustle and that are never going to give up, they end up finding each other and working together. And I think that's really what brought us together. I always admired how hard this guy worked. How he was willing to put it all on the line, and he just never took no for an answer. And I think he saw that same thing in me. And we realized that we wanted to do more, that we wanted to have a bigger purpose than just our own egos, which is what we fed for a long time, was how much more famous or popular could we become, and all this kind of stuff. But I think it was probably around 2016 that we did our very first charity tour together. And we had done one show together called Music with a Mission before that. But 2016, he called me up. He goes, "Hey, man, what are you doing in December?" I was like, "Nothing. The music industry shuts down." And he goes, "Cool." He's like, "Well, you want to go to Florida with me and play a bunch of shows for charity and do Christmas for kids and Toys for Tots and all this kind of stuff?" I was like, "Man, I ain't got nothing else to do. I just got married like 14 days before that, but sure, let's go ahead and go." And
honeymoon's over.
And the next thing I know, we're out there, man, and we were able to go out and play. I think we played 12 shows in 10 days. And the shows were all to raise money and help kids that weren't going to have a Christmas. They were at everything from bars to casino boats to we played this one park where they had a bunch of cannons set up off the shore of Florida there. I don't know if that was the French and Indian War, the Spanish. I don't know what Spanish Revolution. I don't know what it was, but they had a bunch of that stuff set up there, and we went down there and played those shows. And I want to say we ended up doing, gosh, I can't remember how many, 30, 40 grand that we was able to sponsor, get sponsored out to the different charities that week. And we auctioned off guitars and everything else. So it was really cool. We were averaging 2 or 3 grand a night on those, or per show on those 10 days. So, and we did 12 of them in 10 days. So
nice.
It was stuff.
We realized then that it's like, man, we want to keep doing this. We enjoyed that. We enjoyed working together, and we've just been best friends ever since then, I think. So,
Jared, has Vinny leaned on you for any advice when it comes to anything dad yet?
I think he talks to me about stuff constantly, but it's It's hard to say in that because I think we lean on each other so much for so many things that we've just kind of talk to each other about life every day. And you know how it is. If you're a dad, then that comes up pretty nonstop. You know.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Okay. All
Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand.
Oh, I thought you were going to finish it. We all
need somebody to lean on. Hey, listen, I was on The Biggest Loser. He was on The Voice. I don't know why I'm the one
What is
singing.
happening here? So you need to go work out, and you need to back this thing up. Biggest Loser. So how much weight did you lose?
I lost 211 pounds.
Me.
Yeah, I lost Jared. Jared was basically hanging around my gut for years. I was 211, lost 211 pounds. Really lost more than that. When I first started losing weight, I weighed right at 500 pounds. I lost all the way down to 242 at my lowest. And that's when I kind of was like, man, I don't care nothing about being super skinny. And I started focusing on powerlifting and strongman and all that kind of stuff and started training for that. And of course, that's a whole different, animal. And I was trying to build muscle. And so it's so funny because I'm like, man, I'm just going to keep losing weight. I'm going to be 200 pounds. And I went to the doctor and I got a DEXA scan on me and everything. They're like, yeah, if you lost every ounce of fat in your body, like literally had zero fat, like not even what you need for your internal organs to run, you would still weigh 221 pounds. They said, so you ain't getting down to under 200 pounds, buddy. And they said, unless you start losing muscle, which I don't suggest. So that's when I kind of rearranged what my goals were and started focusing on the strength and the stuff I really loved. And I think that was a big lesson for me to learn is like, my first vision was, okay, I want to get as ripped and lean as possible. And when you start learning about different body types and how things are done and all that, I think for me, it just changed it. Like what makes me happy in fitness? What's something I'm going to continue to do for the rest of my life? And really, I landed on weightlifting and that side of it, as opposed to going and running marathons and stuff like that, just because I hated it. And I was like, I'm not going to keep doing this if I hate it. So if I can find that thing in fitness that says, hey, man, this is going to keep you healthy. This is going to keep you working out for the rest of your life, as opposed to something you're going to give up on 5 or 6 years from now. Maybe you last 10 or 15 years. But if you're doing something you hate every single day, and that's how you start off your day, I don't suggest it. So that's when I was like, man, I love weightlifting. So I'm going to make sure that at least 4 or 5 times a week I get in a good weightlifting session. I go walking with my wife. That's kind of more my cardio is the walking type of thing. I'll do HIIT training a couple times a week. But, I just wanted to make sure that it was something I was enjoying. If it's going to be part of your life forever, make sure it's something you enjoy. Some people love running marathons. I ain't those people.
One of my favorite things to do on that topic was, and for you, it's the 2-year-old baby girl curls. Those aren't those love the best? Oh man! I
mean, that's why my shoulders have gotten just massive, man. My just constantly.
I can't do them anymore.
Pushing them up in the air.
Last night, she's 9. I said, "Come here," and I picked her up like you normally do, and I was like, "She's super tall. She's weighing too much. I don't think I can do this anymore."
Liam's a solid 50 pounds right now, man. He's getting to be a bit much, and he's only 2.
Vinny, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Jared before you came on. You said your oldest is 5 years old, so I'm going to take you back 5.5 years, give or take a few months. It was a fateful day, and you were notified somehow that you were, in fact, going to become a father. Can you recall that day and the emotions that went through your head?
I remember it pristinely. So I had gotten divorced about a year and a half before that from the girl that I got engaged to on Biggest Loser. And I was like, man, I will never get married again. I'm never doing that. I ain't an idiot. And it probably wasn't about 4 months afterwards when I went on my first date and with my now wife. And literally I would have married her the night that I met her. I'm like, dude, this girl is awesome. She's like, she was into bodybuilding. She had been a pro at that. She had third-degree world champion black belt in Taekwondo. She was a little bit prettier than me, which is hard to be because I'm pretty. But we ended up just becoming best friends and kind of, she had went through a similar situation where she had a massive transformation in her life. And she went from being a dude to being I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
Well, impressive.
No,
hey, we've already covered it.
And I think that kind of led, I just want to include everybody in our story, but, no, we had gotten married and the doctor had told her because she had PCOS that she wasn't going to be able to have kids. And so we were kind of at that point where we're like, you know what, we're just going to, have fun, do whatever we want to do. We'll get an RV and go travel the world whenever I ain't playing shows. And she's also a phenomenal musician. And so I came home one day, and this was right after our Christmas tour. And I walk into my kitchen, and I see this cake sitting there. It says you plus me equals 3. And it has a pregnancy test. Now, my brother and his wife had been trying to get pregnant, and I was under the impression that we couldn't get pregnant. So I literally look at my wife. I'm like, babe, did you see this cake? My brother and his wife, my brother and Anna are going to have a baby. I was so pumped up, from my brother.
Right.
And she's like, that's our cake, you idiot. I was like, what? She's like, we're going to have a baby. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I freaked out. And of course she was like, we can't tell anybody yet. We got to go get the official test done and all this other stuff. Of course, I'm like, Mom, guess what?
Right.
But we kept it in. We didn't tell anybody. And it was really cool. We told her family the same night. And what we did was we got a bunch of buns and we put them in the oven. And we had a thing of Prego marinara sauce. And we called her brother who loves pizza. It's like, dude, we're making this homemade pizza and we got this Prego sauce and we got these buns in the oven. And we got a bun in the oven. And he literally goes, Prego is the worst sauce that you could use. I'm like, well, listen, I love Prego, first off. And she goes, it's Prego because we're Prego. And he immediately started crying.
Oh,
and
great.
then her mom, of course, was there and everything, started crying. Everybody started crying. So it was a cool moment. And then on my side of the family, we waited until we ended up having our Christmas party. It was almost February when we got to finally get together with my family. And I had my sister open up a tin that looked like it was full of cookies or whatever. And she opened it up and had a pregnancy test. Well, my brother, he's on number 7 as well. He's got 7 of them, 7 kids. And my sister opens it up, looks at it, and she goes, are you kidding me? Are you an idiot? And she looks right over at my brother, Shane, and says, are you an idiot? You already got 7 kids. And he goes, I don't know what you're looking at me for. This ain't me. This is for Big Vinny. And she goes, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. He goes, well, I guess we know which one's your favorite. So, but I was like, well, I said, it ain't got nothing to do with being a favorite. I said, I think she was just saying, if you already got 7, maybe you need to just chill back a little bit. Unless we did grow up in an Amish community. So, we weren't Amish, but they were always growing more workers. So.
It's impressive. That's a great story. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Bryan Hopkins has hopped in on this episode. That was Bryan Hopkins. I had no idea that Bryan would be joining us today. It doesn't surprise me at all, though. Bryan, welcome in, man. What's going on?
How you doing?
We're good. I love how you guys figured out. Now we can zoom in from the studio at Sticky Paws, man. This is excellent.
Yeah.
I don't know what Sticky Paws was.
Bryan, what's going on, man?
Oh, I got a text from Nick, and Nick was like, hey, what are you doing right now? And I said, I'm at Sticky Paw Studios at the moment. And he said, can you jump on? I think you got some friends on here. And I think I saw Big Vinny.
What's up, brother?
What's up, buddy? Man. How you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, Jared's here too, man.
No way.
Do you not see Jared?
I don't see Jared. How do I not see Jared?
I see you.
What's up? Oh, there he is. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
Yeah.
All right, man. There's a bunch of brothers here. By the way, Jared and Vinny, Bryan actually alluded to this a few episodes back. He likes to interfere with almost every one of our episodes we do.
All of them.
So
all of them.
We're just training him to take over just in case one of us dies.
Yeah. and it's a brotherhood, with us and you run on Dadcast. So whether you like it or not, you guys, we're brothers now. So
thanks.
So I got you. If you ever need a babysitter, I'm in.
I hope you know how to fix stuff because that's what I use my brother husband
I don't
for.
babysit other people.
I fix stuff. Yes, Vinny. I am very capable.
Now, where are y'all located at?
Oregon.
You're in Oregon.
Yep.
I guess you're in California.
Nick,
and Bryan, you're still in Vegas, right?
I'm in Vegas right now. Yeah.
Nick and I are both in Oregon, pretty much the same town, for lack of a better way to put it. And Bryan in Vegas. Nick, have you put together a Fast Five for these guys today?
I did not, dude. I'm sorry. I've been down.
It's all right. It's okay. They're the same 5 questions anyway.
I can ask the same 5 questions.
I mean, you never change them up. So you might as well just do it. So
Hey, I like to sound like I do something other than fucking sit around.
You do the Fast Five, and there occasionally, I think there's like 7 questions, and he mixes them up.
All right,
if you may, before you get to that, real quick, because I know that's the end of the show.
No,
I want to shout.
We're getting there,
okay. Well, I want to shout out to Jared. Jared, big ass family, and that guy has a big ass heart, and he's a great dad. I do remember when you were on The Voice, and you got your family forever tattoo live. You had to get it cleared with NBC and everything. And you know, we were sitting, there you go, family, you flip it. It says forever. That was a Mark Palmer
That's
ambergram.
where that picture came from.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Do you know that Jared and I became friends by a pool sitting, but he was at the pool. I was at the pool. We were not supposed to be mingling and whatnot. I wasn't on the show. My roommate was on the show, The Voice. And, Jared, I walked past Jared. He goes, "Hey, what's your name?" And next thing you know, we're talking. And I literally gave him the shirt off my back to wear on TV. He ended up wearing Red Chapter. That's where it came from. I think I loaned you my chains, my belt buckle, one of my shirts.
Dude,
we became
there was all
family.
So what you're saying is Bryan was off to the side naked and Jared was dressed looking good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No wonder they took Jared on the show.
Exactly. Blake Shelton's like, fuck this guy.
The funny story on that too is like, so Bryan comes out there and we meet and he tells me he has this clothing company and he's like, "Let me get you a couple shirts," and he brings them to me. I was like, "These are cool." He's like, "Do you think you would wear one of those on the show?" And I was like, "Nope, but I would wear that when you're wearing." He was like, "Done," and he just took it off right there. He was like, "I have it cleaned at the hotel, and you can have it for the show." And I wore that on the battle rounds, and so like they were trying to dress me down on the show, because they said that I came in looking too professional, so they wouldn't give me the same stuff that they were giving everybody else.
Right.
And so I called Bryan. I was like, "Dude, man, this is crap. They're trying to put me in this and do this and this." So he literally just like picked a bunch of stuff out of his closet and came back over. And I was like, "Heck yeah." And so I just showed up that way.
But no, it was out of my closet. But when I get there, you're like, I want to wear what I had on again. Can I wear that belt buckle? Can I wear those chains? I have one bandana, you have 2. Can I have those? And I was like, shit, I'm undressing again.
But what's crazy is like we get on I come out there to do the show and they were like, "Hey, is this what you were approved in?" I was like, "Yeah." And what worked out so flawless about it for me was like, I didn't realize that they had to like graduate you up. Like they did improve you every show. And so because I came out there like that in Bryan's stuff, then they immediately office on the next go round. They're like, "Well, I guess we got to get you some more jewelry and stuff."
Yep.
I had them order me like around 20 grand worth of silver and buckles and all sorts of crap. And then I just wore it and I wore it home. And they never saw it again.
Well, on Biggest Loser, I have about 14 6XL shirts that we can make a blanket out of now.
There we go.
6XL.
Wow.
That's big.
That's crazy.
That's
yeah,
big.
bro.
What are you rocking these days, Vinny? A 3XL?
Got them 2 XLTs. Maybe that one covers over my dad gut.
There we go. Hey, this dude, he moves on stage too. Vinny.
I love breaking
loves
down.
breaking it down and dancing. Yep.
I see enough room behind you. Maybe you could show us something.
He does a snake even. It's crazy.
Was he break dancing? There she is.
Can you say hi? Can you wave?
Hello there. Nope, she's not having any part of it.
You want to say hi? No? Okay. Now she's mad.
Peace out. All right.
She's like, "I'm out of here."
One of the
on the TV and I didn't ask to be.
One of the questions Nick likes to ask on the Fast Five segment. I'm going to start with you, Vinny. Nick, I'm asking it if that's all right with you.
Sure.
All right. You can have a billboard with anything on it. What's it going to be?
Gosh. Man, if I could get Bryan Hopkins naked, wearing nothing but a red chapter shirt, not butt buckles, and the voice. Where's this billboard located?
Paint me like your French girls.
I think if I could have anything, I think for me right now on that billboard, I think that something that's come most important to us is just our charity Live to Be, and just letting people know more about what we're doing. We're trying to go around to the schools and speak with people and with these kids and just let them know, like, hey, you don't have to be a victim of your own circumstance. So as we're trying to grow that, I think that's the most important thing right now for me. Is as much as I'd love to say I would put my music on there and all this other stuff, I think the most important thing for me to put on there would just be just to let people know about our charity so that, they can understand what we're trying to be out there doing is, we don't try to go in and tell people what to do. We just try to let them know about how their choices can impact their circumstances in life. So I think that would be the thing I'd put on that billboard. And I stole that because Jerry can't put it on there now. Bam.
And how do people listening and watching this episode get more information on that?
You can go to live2b.org. And you can kind of see some of what we've done, some of the comments that kids have made. And man, we go in these schools and we speak, and we never charge the school anything. It's all paid for by sponsors and donors and things like that. But we go in and speak, and I can't tell you how many times, almost every single time that we speak at a school, somebody sends us a message and says, hey man, I was at the end of my rope today and I was contemplating suicide. I mean, these kids are, freshmen to seniors in high school, even into grade school. And hearing y'all talk lets me realize that this is just a short season in my life, and that things change on a dime, when you get into the real world, and even while you're in school. And I think, those moments for me, it just really hits my heart, because I'm like, I wish that there would have been that person coming around to our school and talking whenever I was a kid, just to let me know, hey man, everything's going to be okay. And whatever your life is right now, that doesn't have to define what the next 30 or 40 years is, or 100, if you live to be 100, your next 80 years. But this little short, 5-year-old to 18-year-old time period doesn't have to define who you are forever. So regardless if you're a popular kid in school or an unpopular kid, if you were born into money or you were born into poverty, or you have a bad home life or a good home life, because for some people, they start off great and they mess it up themselves. For some people, they start off really bad and they have to figure out how to dig their way out. And that's why I think mine and Jared's stories both impact so well, is because he kind of got into a place where he was at because of his own doings. I was born into a really bad place and had to fight my way out of it, but he had to build back after he lost everything. And I said, I think teaching those kids that it's not over, it's not over. As long as you're waking up and you're on the green side today and you get another chance at life, then God's saying, hey man, you still got a chance to change. You still got a chance to be better. And I don't care what your circumstance is, what you were born into, what you're dealing with. If you have a sound mind and even if you don't have a sound body, but if you got a sound mind, you can still make something of yourself and change your life. And that's what I want to teach these kids, is that, there's a million excuses why you can't do it, but you just got to find the one reason why you can't.
Wow.
There you go.
Well done.
That's going to be a big ass billboard, man. Those are a lot of words, but
I just want to put live2b.org. Check it.
All right, Jared.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite meal to cook for your kids when they were young?
Wait a minute, who's doing the fast five?
Same thing it always does, man.
You lost your job, bro.
I'm big on the green egg, man. It's a 5 times a week sort of thing for me. So I've spoiled my kids completely when it comes to steaks, and that's another one of those father-daughter things you're talking about. They start dating and all those sort of things. One of my proud moments. My girl calls me after this date, and she goes, yeah. She's like, so this guy that I was dating, he took me out to this really expensive steak restaurant, and halfway through the meal, he's like, so how's your steak? And she was like, it's okay. And he was like, what do you mean? It's a $70 steak. And she was like, yeah, my dad does better. I don't know what you want me to say. And so like I said, I'm a grilling fanatic, and so it's a lot of steak in my house. And
all right,
kids know it. And, it's still the main request. I mean, he's
really good with meat.
I'm great with some meat. That's kids. We're so big into it that it's even Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's prime rib, man.
Yeah, buddy. That's Jared's billboard. Nobody beats his meat.
No one beats
Then you got one for you.
Better than me. Better than me.
Hey, listen, I'm coming over for Christmas now that I know there's prime rib. I can walk to Jared's house. I do it every morning. In my morning, I train a guy in the morning. Every time we walk down to Jared's house, we pull up all of his windshield wipers and flip them over and stuff. So.
Hey, no one ever tells you this, but they actually put the prime rib on sale at Thanksgiving and Christmas and jack the prices of turkey and ham.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, they always go on sale.
No, I'm going to pitch that one to my mother-in-law because I hate turkey and I hate ham. I've been trying for 8 years to have freaking tacos for Thanksgiving and I keep getting shot down.
I did it for
trying
Christmas.
To find some kind of meat I don't like.
You guys, the last Christmas I ever had with my mom, she passed away this year. The last Thanksgiving, she wasn't capable of, doing anything. But the Christmas before or Thanksgiving before, she was still, health wasn't good. So we all pitched into, we're going to do all the food. We're just, you sit, you chill, you do no work. And I convinced the whole family and I made my fish tacos for Thanksgiving fish tacos.
Like
anyway, sorry.
I'm proud of you. Okay.
Yes.
I got one. Vinny.
Yeah.
Before leaving, what's one thing you can't leave the house without?
My car keys.
You didn't set it up though, Nick. You didn't set it up.
I suck at the setup. Damn it. All right, let's let JP set it up.
All right, we're going to back that up. Okay, so this is a question that I don't ask of every guest. A little backstory. I work in radio. I've been working radio for 20 years. I've interviewed countless musicians over the years, blah, 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 blah. And I always like to ask that question. And one particular guy answered that question better than I've ever heard it. And it took a good 15, 16 years before anyone came close to matching that answer. And then we got like 3 in a row recently, a few months ago, where it was along the same lines. But the question was, what is one thing you cannot leave the house without? Vinny, you just said your car keys. George Thorogood answered that question without skipping a beat.
Let's ask Jared first.
Okay, yes. What's one thing you can't leave the house without, Jared?
That I can't leave the house without?
What's one thing you can't leave the house without?
Not that I don't want to, that I can't.
Correct.
Me.
Okay, all right, fair enough. George Thorogood's answer. Ready for this? Without skipping a beat. Kissing my wife.
Dang.
Right?
I told my wife I said that. Ain't that a given, though? I mean, I can't live without kissing my... If I leave without giving my kids a hug, they'll run to the door screaming, going, hug, hug. So I guess I can't leave the house without them kissing me.
Fair enough. All right.
It's crazy that it took that long to get that answer. It's crazy that it doesn't, because it's definitely the thing that I do before I leave every single time. But so many other shallow things enter your mind before.
Right.
And it's just the way the question is also set up is our minds go to, something physical, your phone, your keys, whatever.
Absolutely.
And the fact that George just he didn't even think about it. It was just boom. It's almost as if he rehearsed it.
Hey, that's the honest answer.
I was like, wow, that's great.
To me, I was going to the comedic answer, which is, well, I can't leave without my keys. I'll still be sitting on the front porch, I guess.
Right.
In fairness, ask me that in 20 years. He's got a few years on me. So maybe
George Thorogood is old as hell.
Yeah, so and again, you guys, just because you answered it that way, it doesn't mean it's right or wrong or anything. I thought that answer was so profound. And from that
I realize
point
now
forward,
that I need to marry my truck and divorce my wife. So that's what you taught me on this Dadcast.
Bryan, I'm sorry I interrupted you. You had something there. You still got it?
No, it's all right.
Fair enough. All right, gentlemen, we are getting real close to the end of our time here. Nick, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay, then I'm going to leave with each of you the most important question I like to ask on Dadcast, and I'm really curious to hear your answers. We'll start with you, Jared. You're going to get the same question, Vinny, so you can think about it. Jared, what is one piece of advice that you could impart on any new or going to be dad?
It's not worth the argument. It's everything that my children have taken away from me in a good way was never argued. If the argument starts, you've already lost. Just go ahead and stop. Try to find another way into that, because once you're arguing, remember you're arguing with a kid.
Yeah.
Like that's on you. That's your fault automatically. You are arguing with a child. You know, when I look at my kids, they've learned a lot from me, and so much of it they'll never know that they actually did it, maybe until their parents or whatever. But it was always just during the conversation, and that's the biggest thing that I've learned being a parent is that once I get to that spot where anyone seems agitated in any way, I'm done speaking now. It's time just to eat the steak.
Yeah, you go. Now, I'm going to leave you with this one, too. So that last question, I know you felt a little, I couldn't answer it as well. Well, let me tell you something. I asked that question of every single guest that I just asked you. No one has answered it like that. And I am going to say that is probably one of the top 5 most profound answers to that question I've ever heard. It's so deep, correct, and simple and thought-provoking. I mean, I literally put myself in a business. Like, yeah, I argue with my kids all the time. And why am I arguing with a child?
Right, absolutely.
You don't even, but, well done. You made up for it. Great answer. Love it. Vinny, what is one piece of advice
well, I mean,
you could impart on a new dad?
Yeah, I'm still relatively a new dad myself.
Right. That's why I'm looking forward to this.
And Jared has literally given me that advice in the car. In the van when we were on our road trips before. So he ain't lying when he says that. That's something he's actually told me. I think for me, the first thing that I'm learning is that it's okay to say no to other people. It's okay to not fill your schedule all the time with obligations to other people. Because I'm a goer, I'm a doer. And you can ask Jared, if you say, hey, Vinny, this is what I need you to do. About 45 minutes later, I'm calling you like, okay, I got this, and this going,
Right.
And, I think one thing I've had to learn and really put into place is that it's okay to take time with your family. It's okay to tell other people no. I'm a socialite. I'm a social butterfly. So it's like I want to say yes to every opportunity. I want to say yes to every single person. But having kids is definitely, it's worth slowing down and saying, hey, it ain't worth leaving the house. It ain't worth going on this road trip. Even, the money, depending on no matter what the money is, if it's something you're going to miss, a special occasion or this or that, just it's okay to say no and set some boundaries with people. So,
all right, love that answer. Oh,
Nice.
All right, well, gentlemen, man, an hour and 15 minutes just flew on by. On behalf of myself and Nick Martin and our man Bryan Hopkins of Hero's Journey Podcast and the band Elvis Monroe, currently live at Sticky Paws Studios in Las Vegas. Was that enough?
And Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, that's I know. Bryan, that's a fun fact. I haven't used the former teen heartthrob moniker in months. Thanks for bringing that back, Vinny. I almost forgot.
Every time we have Bryan on, we need to have.
That was one of the only times. I mean, I get jealous of you for how handsome you are, but just the fact that you got to be close to Kelly Kapowski.
She was on his fucking lap.
Yeah, dude.
I know. I'm really upset about it. I've got to talk to her once on the phone, but that's it. So.
You did. You got to talk to her on the phone?
One time I was rapping with, you remember the band Lanier?
Yeah.
So Charlie Panaccio, Charlie P, Charlie.
Okay.
We were talking about who we had crushes on when we were young and stuff. And I said her, and he's like, oh, okay. About 5 minutes later, he calls her up and she calls him back. I didn't know, he texted her or something. She called and he put her on speaker, and he's like, you got to tell her, but now she is married and stuff. I was like, oh man. So I got to basically tell Kelly Kapowski, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, I know her real name.
Yeah.
That when I was a kid, that I would have basically done anything to just get to have a lock of her hair and sort in a little vase. I'm just kidding.
No, dude, the week that I shot that, we were friends, and we went to a movie and dinner that Friday night after we shot that week. I got to work all week on the show. And then she's like, what are you doing? And I said, nothing. It's Friday night. She goes, let's go to a movie. Let's go have dinner, go to a movie. I'm like, yeah, I'd be kidding me. And she goes, Mom, I'm going out with Bryan. She goes, Bryan who? And her mom was there on set. And she goes, no, I'm coming. So her mom was sitting at another table while we were eating. She was sitting in the movie theater behind us. No joke. And
sounds like an awesome mom.
Yeah, she was. I was dressed exactly the same as I am now.
You haven't aged a day since then, bro. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, thank you,
maybe you're a
man.
vampire or something. I don't know.
It's something.
Maybe that's why she
Dude,
wanted to go to
I
dinner
love
with
you. I'm so glad I got asked to be on this today. I love you, Vin.
It's some sort of deal. He
I don't
worked
know,
out
man.
with the
It's him
devil,
and
man.
Mario Lopez. Dude. Those two dudes have never aged at all. It's crazy.
I worked, Jared. Yeah, I did work it out with the devil, I think. I say I'm a vampire. I don't know, man. Like, you know, I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. And thanks for doing this with the boys. Nick and JP, I love these guys. So to have my friends be a part of the show and share your story is huge. Both you guys, you're out there, you're making a difference. And to hear you, Ven, talk about what you guys are doing. I talk to Jared all the time. We will talk at 1:00 in the morning. He'll be driving somewhere and I get a call and we lift each other up. We kind of have our Tony Robbins moments together. You know, it's like a mirror of each other. That's why we connected. And that's why when I met you, it was, oh, you're friends with Jared? Boom, we're friends, instant friends, because I saw how close you guys are. So this was really cool that you guys both did the show with the boys and talk about things other than just music that we're chasing and the thing that we love and that makes us different than most, you know. So thank you for doing that.
Great stuff. And thank you, Bryan,
Absolutely.
as always. He's Big Vinny. He's Big Vinny. And hold on, if I just look real quick, do you really spell your name V-E-N, Vincent? My brother's name's Vincent as well. Is that how you spell it?
It is. My mom was on Demerol.
Is it pronounced Vincent or Vincent?
I always just say Vincent, but I don't know. I don't know if my mom really knew how to spell it. I think she just kind of went with what she, Perry County back with
Fair
Perry
enough.
County kind of spelling.
Gotcha.
Wait,
Vincent,
is he VE? Your brother's VE?
No, he's VI.
Okay, I've never met another VE.
Yeah, me neither. And I saw that when I was sending you out the emails. I'm like, that's strange. But, whatever.
My full name is, no joke, Vincent Van Zant Hickerson, after Ronnie Van Zant.
Nice.
And if it was up to my dad, my name would have been Leonard Skinner Hickerson. So thank God my mom came out of Demerol long enough to not let that happen.
That is amazing.
I love Leonard Skinner, but I didn't want to be Leonard.
Vincent, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show. He is Jared Blake, former musician on The Voice, season 1, but more importantly, singer, songwriter, producer, amazing dad, just like Vinny. Thank you for coming on, man. So much appreciated.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, brother.
What are we looking at there, Vinny?
It's the other piece of advice I wanted to give y'all. These are called monkey locks.
Okay.
They go on your door and you can put them up high. So when you click them in, that makes it where you just push that button and it opens the door. But if you need to keep your kids out of the bathroom while you're using it, you just click that on the door and they can't get it open. So
I think that
monkey locks.
I think
They need
Vinny's working
they need to be sponsoring your show.
Right?
Monkey locks.
It is.
I need some.
Monkey locks. There you go, Nick. I'm past the age where I need those, but Nick's definitely in. Thank you guys to everyone listening to the show. Thank you so much for your support. As always, so much love to you. We appreciate you. Without you, we wouldn't be us. And if you're watching on the YouTube, of course, subscribe, smash the buttons, like, dislike, whatever. Do both. Comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the very next episode. Have a great rest of your day. See ya.